we talk about it on the commentator. This one,
it's good. Last time I was in there, it didn't look like this, man. Like there's a ring here.
Alright, so we are live at the BT Sport HQ with rising light heavyweight star Anthony Yarde. How you feeling?
I feel great. How are you?
I'm good, very good. So I guess, just quickly, I guess there hasn't been much change from the press conference a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, the situation then was you wanted to fight the British light heavyweight champion Frank Buglioni. Jose Burton was calling out for an eliminator. What's your view on that at the moment, and what's the sort of the situation there?
Well, I'll do a little correction on this. Frank Buglioni called out my name. So he's called my name before I won the WBO European title. Before I got a top 10 ranking in the world, he called out my name. So obviously I saw that as an opportunity. I was like to myself, okay, British title, I'm all on it. Even before he was British champion, Frank Warren made an offer to him to fight me. I think it was at the time it was 20 grand. He turned it down for whatever reasons, I don't know. And then obviously he's called out my name. And then after I've become WBO European champion, he's changed his tune. So he's put up posts of me, everything. If you notice, I haven't put out nothing of him because he's not on my radar. He wasn't on my radar. And until a fight has been confirmed with me, I don't feel the need to entertain it. I can see this fight happening in the future. He needs to win these fights. I need to win my fights. It could be a bigger fight in the future. I don't know. With Jose Burton, I'm not going backwards. As I said to you before, I will fight someone ranked higher than both of them. I feel like he's just come off of a loss. In boxing, if you look at the history of boxing, someone in my position, so I'm 12-0 now, 11 knockouts, and I'm a WBO European champion. I fought someone in my last fight who was ranked in the top 10. To go backwards makes no sense. That's in my opinion. There's no reward for it. So when I knock out Jose Burton, they're going to say, oh, he's just been knocked out anyway. It was a tough fight for him just coming back. Even with Frank Buglioni, he has something that's going to benefit me. He has a British title. He's just knocked out Jose Burton. He's just, I think he's won 1 or 2 fights since then. So he's on a good reign. So that's why the fight would have made sense for me. Before Frank Buglioni called up my name, he wasn't even on my radar. I was on going the WBO European route, maybe Commonwealth, etc. And then if British won in there as well, which would have been good for me, I would love to be a champion in my country, etc. That would have been the route. He called out my name and then he's gone back on it. So that's what I have to say on that.
Jose's point of view, Jose's case is, well, hang on, I was winning. This is not me speaking. It's Jose speaking. I was winning the Buglioni fight until he got caught at the end. You know, he's a former British champion, an ABA champion, so he's keen to fight you. But like I said, doesn't persuade.
So the way I see things is this, in boxing, sometimes you need to work your way back up. I saw the last, I think, 4 rounds of the fight, so I can't go on from what was happening before that, but from what I see, he was getting beaten up in the last 3 or 4 rounds. Frank Buglioni started walking through his punches. Frank Buglioni was cut up, so I don't know what happened before I walked in. When I went to Manchester to watch the Joshua fight with a couple of my friends. I don't know what happened before I think it was the 9th round I walked in, or the 8th or 9th round. I don't know what happened before that, but from what I saw, he was on the verge of getting stopped. He ended up getting stopped. In boxing, you could it's happened to so many boxers. Happened to Badu Jack. He was winning the fight, he got caught early in the first round. He had to go backwards. It's happened to so many people. They win in 1 minute and then they get knocked out or whatever. If you lose a fight and it's a close decision, cool. But when you get knocked out, you go backwards. So again, I'm not going, for me, the position I'm in, I'm not going backwards. I'm looking to go forward. So to me, it don't make sense fighting Jose Burton at this stage. Let him get some wins on his belt, make it more exciting, make it more of the talk, not some random people want them to fight. Let's see them fight. It's what makes sense.
Is it also a kind of unfortunate fact of boxing at the moment is you've got a relationship with your broadcaster, BT Sport, who are actually doing help you in your career in that you're sort of one of the faces of boxing on the channel. You want your fights on BT Sport. Frank and Jose have been fighting on Sky Sports. And unfortunately, it's always hard to make fights sort of across channels because it adds a whole layer of complications to negotiations that are always complicated.
Definitely. Well, with me, everyone has to know this. When I came into boxing, in the amateurs, I would fight anybody. I had 12 amateur fights, 11 knockouts. By like my 5th amateur fight, I was just on fight anybody. My amateur coach, Sonny Cisse, he kept telling me, relax, going into open class at this stage, blah, blah, blah. When he realised he couldn't get me no fights, we went open class. Again, 12 fights, 11 knockouts, but then for me, amateurs and pros are 2 different things. So they're talking about Jose Burton was an ABA champion or whatever. If I went down the route of saying amateurs, I believe I would have been an ABA champion with a lot of knockouts on my record. This is the professional game. Smaller gloves, more devastating performances, and I feel like if you look at stylistically, Jose Burton, Frank Bugaloni, for me it's a no-brainer. I'm confident in my abilities, and for me it's what fight makes sense. I'm not going backwards.
And you mentioned your amateur career. Funnily enough, I was at the Haringey Box Cup. It could have been 2012, and I almost saw your fight, but I looked away, and the opponent was flat on the canvas, so I literally never saw you box an amateur. But I was aware that you had real punching power, even then, even in the bigger amateur gloves.
Yeah. So again, it's boxing, and people have to understand this. If you look even in world rankings or any rankings you want to look in, when someone's just come off of if Jose Burton didn't have the training he had and the promotion he had behind him, back of the queue, you've just been knocked out. I don't know none of these guys personally. I've met Frank Bugaloni, I think, once. As a man, I've got nothing against a man, but boxing, everyone knows it's a sport. It's a business. It's about rankings. So it don't make sense for. I'm just using this as an example. It don't make sense for a number 10 fighter to fight a number 30 fighter. It don't make sense.
Are there other sort of, aside from those guys, are there other light heavyweights on the scene at the moment who you can see yourself being on a collision course with? Not in the next fight in September, but over the next year or two.
Oh well, anybody that's in the top 10. Anybody that's in the top 10 rankings, I'm talking about in the world. British, domestically, we just named 2 names. There's probably some others as well. I think Nathan Cleverley's the champion. He's fighting Badou Jack.
Yeah.
Again, these are things that I'm starting to find out now, because you can ask my coach Tunde Jai, you can ask any of my friends. People tell me stuff and I'm like, oh, is it? Because I'm so obsessed with my own progression. I think I got to where I'm at right now, just worrying about myself. A lot of people and a lot of other fighters, they worry about what other people are doing. I see it just when you're put in front of me, then you become my focus, and then I need to do a job on you. I need to demonstrate, as I've been doing so far. So again, there's exciting times ahead, and when them times come, when the time does come, you know my slogan: turn up, show up, blow up. We've got to bring entertainment.
Are you surprised that it feels like your professional career is moving very quickly? You didn't have many amateur fights. You're on 11 pro fights, 12 pro fights. Sorry. Again, a lot is happening quite quickly. Is that difficult to deal with?
Not at all, because as I said to you before, or as I said before, I don't come into boxing to sit on the sidelines. I don't come into boxing to play around. I didn't come into boxing to be a nobody fighter. What I'm doing right now is working. I always thank God. Got to thank my trainer Tunde Jai, other people in my camp, Ade and Martin. We all work together. Frank Warren, we work together, and a couple other people. We work together, and you got friends and family around you that support you. And once everyone does their job, then amazing things can happen. And that's what I've even been telling people, because where I come from, people feel like they've got no hope. So I always say to people, you can do things if you put your mind to it, believe in it, and literally amazing things can happen. No one will think in 12 fights be, as you said, one of the faces of BT Sports, in big adverts, fighting for WBO European titles. No one thought at this stage I would get to this point so quick in my career. So again, I just thank God.
Are you surprised to see yourself on TV in those adverts?
I'm looking at it right now. Again, no. I'll be lying if I said I was surprised, because people said this to me before. Do you think you will be at this stage? Someone said this to me, I think last year. Do you think you'll be at this stage? It must seem surreal. And I said to them, I'm not being cocky or arrogant, but it don't seem surreal, because I obviously came into boxing with a vision and a goal, and I want to achieve something. So when it's happening, I'm not going to all of a sudden start saying to myself, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's happened, because that's not belief. You ain't really got belief if you don't think it's going to happen.
Well, while we've got you here, do the famous Boxing News 60-second interview. If you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
So, let's get to know the real Anthony Yarde. So, when and why did you start boxing?
I started boxing because I believe I loved the sport, and I believe I had the potential to be something.
How old were you when you got into
I
it?
first actually got into boxing when I was 18. I had my first amateur fight when I was 19.
And had you done quite a few other sports as well?
Yeah, I've done football. I didn't play rugby. I trained to do rugby at quite a high level, Harlequins, and I've done athletics and basketball as well.
Okay. So why was it boxing? Why was that the sport you settled on?
I feel like boxing was the sport I was most intrigued with. It's a sport that you depend on yourself more than anything else, and I feel like you get out of it what you put in. And the main thing is I love the sport.
Did you have a favourite all-time fighter?
I can't select one, because I would say Mike Tyson is the reason. He's what intrigued me so much. Floyd Mayweather intrigued me in the scientific or sports, the hitting and not getting hit factor of boxing, and again personality Muhammad Ali.
Okay. And what would you say is the best fight you've seen? It can be live. I guess it can be off TV as well.
One of the best fights. I don't know.
Isaiah Burton versus Frank Buglione.
I wouldn't say that's one of the best fights I've seen. I'll probably say even this first round, I would say, is the best round I've seen, or fight, or whatever you want to call it. Hagler Hearns.
Yeah.
Their first round, that was different. That was different.
What would you say has been your personal career highlight?
Personal career highlight, winning the WBO or European title in less than 3 minutes.
And who would you say has been your toughest opponent?
Myself, always myself. At this stage so far, it's only been myself. Eating right, sleeping when I'm meant to be sleeping. You know, all the things that they always say that you should do. That's, for me, it's always the hardest fight. For me, when you get into the ring, it's fun. You gotta have fun.
Yeah, so sticking to your diet is tricky.
You know, everyone knows me. Give me some chocolates, give me some burgers. I'm a happy man.
You know what? You do look really big for a light heavyweight. I mean, is it hard to make weight? Okay. And I was going to ask, do you see yourself moving up to cruiser?
Well, eventually, but I believe in sticking to one thing at a time. Sometimes when you've got your hand in 15 pots, when you've only got 2 hands, you miss things. So I'm a light heavyweight right now. I need to focus on being a light heavyweight, doing what I need to do as a light heavyweight, and then, you know, as your career goes on, or as my career goes on, you can look to elevate and better what you've done.
And what would you say your best and worst attributes as a boxer?
My best attribute is probably my speed, power, defence. No, I'm joking. I don't know, something like that. I would say my mentality. In boxing, my mentality is probably my best attribute. And what do you say, my worst attribute?
Your worst.
My eating habits. But again, everyone else sees it as a bad thing, but I see it as a good thing.
Speaking of which, what is your favourite meal or restaurant?
Impossible. Again, I'm greedy. I'll just name a couple of my favourite restaurants in England. Absolute Caribbean, amazing restaurant. It's in South Woodford. Sheesh has some. Listen, Sheesh and Chigwell. Everyone's starting to know about it now. Literally globally, people are like that. Sheesh, how is it? Is it that nice? Sheesh Chigwell does some fantastic food.
Right. All right. Well, I hope they start sponsoring you as well. Who would you say are your best friends in boxing?
You know what? Friends, you said, isn't it?
Best friends.
I would have to say even my trainers. My main man Tunde Ajayi. You know, me and him, we're not only trainer and pupil. We're great friends as well. Ade, he's one of my friends as well, and Martin, he's also one of my friends. But another boxer, I'd probably say Harvey Davis. He's mistaken a lot, you know. he's a bit different on camera, but behind closed doors, he's a nice guy.
Did you know him as an amateur?
Yeah, when I first walked into boxing, I remember he was skipping. And then I see him get changed, and then he was in a suit with a briefcase preaching about the Bible. So I was like, this guy's a weird cat. He's a different kind of character. So before that, I liked him, and then when I spoke to him, I said, you know, he's himself. I like people that are comfortable being themselves, and they don't care what anyone thinks, because that's what I'm like. I like to enjoy myself. I like eating. I like enjoying myself. So I like people that they're comfortable in their own skin. They can just be themselves, and they don't care what anyone thinks about them as well. However, he's one of them people. He won't second guess to be crazy 1 minute, and then 10 minutes later he's like, oh yeah, what happened? Oh yeah, don't worry about that. He don't even care about it. So I like people like that.
And if you could be any other sportsman, who would you like to be?
Well, I'll be myself. But as a actually no, you know who I would like to be? You know who I like? Thierry Henry. He was my guy.
Yeah?
Thierry Henry or Ian Wright in his prime. Those are my guys.
What was the last film or TV show you saw?
The last TV show I saw was Power. I think the author of that is 50 Cent.
I think I'm the only person who has never seen Power. Everyone else is talking about it. It's the answer to this all the time.
See? My friend, Power. Listen, I would do something a bit different. The one before that, for me, it's a bit different from everyone else. Was a program called Revenge, and it was based in the Hamptons, posh family, etc. But it was so conniving. It was sick, but Power. Right now, it's Power.
All right, and if you could get an actor to play you in a film of your life, who would it be?
Anthony Yarde. It would be Anthony Yarde. You know what I'll say Anthony Yarde, because after boxing, or I would always want to go into things like acting. You know, I'm a movie man. I love watching films. Or again, another thing that I would love to do or experience one day would be being in a film, seeing how it is behind the scenes. I don't know about all that rehearsing lines and spending hours and that stuff, because I respect them guys. I've seen it done, and them guys work hard, actors. So again, I'd love to experience that one day in my life.
Excellent. Have you ever been starstruck?
Never in my life. I've met quite a few famous people, but I've never been starstruck. I think the only time I probably will be starstruck is if I met Beyonce. But I've met a lot of male celebrities. I've met 50 Cent, I spoke to him for a while. I didn't just meet him, I spoke to him for a long time. Floyd Mayweather, I spoke to him for a long time. Off the top of my head, they're probably the two main celebrities I've met, and they're both males, so I don't see myself getting starstruck over a male.
Your mate O'Hara, he's got beef with Mayweather, doesn't he? You've got to be Team O'Hara, right?
It's not real beef. Floyd O'Hara's a massive fan of Floyd. Again, he watches all these videos and everything like that. Sorry if I'm baiting you up. But again, you have to respect Floyd and what he's done in the sport, man. Forget the character he plays, because it is a character. Forget the money persona and all them kind of things. Floyd's he's a nice guy to talk to. Be around. This is just my opinion from the time I've been with him and spent around him or whatever. And again, he's a very smart guy. And again, for me, he's been the best yet at hitting and not getting hit. So again, I'm a boxer myself, and I know how hard it is. So again, you've got to respect it.
And on a different note, when was the last time you cried?
That's a good question. The last time I cried. The last time I cried was probably about 3 years ago, and it was out of anger. I remember I was angry, and I just started crying because I didn't want to get any more. I remember
cried with rage.
With rage, you know, when you start revving up an engine, and then the engine's going nuts, and then that's how I felt. So I just started crying, man.
Can I ask what made you so angry, or is that cry bit?
It's a bit private. Girls, females, no, it was a family matter, but it got me so angry at the time, and I just burst out crying. Because with family, it's like you can't really get too angry, you can't be aggressive, you can't do all these things. There's so many things you can't do. So it's because you're holding it in. The next stage is crying. You just got to cry it out.
And what was the best piece of advice you received? What's been the best piece of advice?
The best piece of advice I've ever received is trust in God and focus on yourself.
What's been the worst rumour you've heard about yourself?
The worst rumour I've heard about myself right now.
I'd be concerned, yeah, I do.
That I can't make light heavyweight. That's the best rumour.
Okay. And finally, can you tell us something not many people know about you?
Something not many people know. That's a good question. I love slow jams. A lot of people hear me like they see the music I come out to and all them other things, but I love slow jams. You know, like old school slow jam music.
What kind?
Like the Whitney Houstons, the Mary J. Blige's, like the soulful music. You know the music that you close your eyes to and you click your fingers and you're like.
So that's you love Whitney Houston?
I love Whitney Houston. Whitney's when she passed away, I almost cried. I actually didn't get into crying because my mum was there. And she would start bringing it back on me, you know, she would start saying, shut up, you was crying with Whitney Houston. But Whitney Houston, I almost cried when she passed away. She was, I love that woman. Her music brought so much good times in my life.
And The Bodyguard's a hell of a film.
Fantastic film. I love that film. I've seen that film at least 11 times in my whole life.
Well, look, on these staggering revelations, don't leave it there. Anthony Yarde, your next fight, September 16th.
September 16th.
BT Sport, Box Nation. Tune in.
Make sure you tune in. Make sure.